Alright guys, so we're here today to talk about like aggro generation and ArcheRage. Um, because it happens like there's a lot of people that does the garden raids and stuff, and they're joining the garden raids for months and they don't know how to keep and hold the boss aggro, right? So there's two things you need to know about aggro in ArcheRage. Okay, so the first thing is you need to DPS the mobs, right? So obviously, since it's PvE, you want to have like a crit weapons, right? And a crit bow or rifle, right? Right, doesn't matter. Okay, so you want to have like as much crit rate, crit damage, right? So death pen maybe it will work, but someone that is full crit might take aggro of you. Okay, um, especially if you're not doing your combo well, right? So it doesn't matter which class you're playing. If you're playing healer, archer, gunner, like whatever, right? Like the only thing that matters to take the aggro, okay, is aggro generation skills, right? So and the DPS actually. So you have to DPS the mobs and use aggro generation skills. And what is aggro generation skills? It is defense skill set, right? There is some other aggro generation skills in Battle Rage and maybe another skill set that I don't remember, but I haven't played nothing else than a melee for some times now. But yeah, so battle defense, okay, defense skill set is the skill set for generating aggro by default, right? So we're gonna go here and reset the skills. Okay, we're gonna keep spell dance. Keep actually, we'll just reset it there. Okay, we'll reset everything so it makes it easier for you guys to see like what I'm doing here. All right, so the first things you want to do is you want to put skill point into the defense skill set, right? So you can use the shield slam, okay? You can if you have like a shield and you can make like a shield swap, right? Use shield slam. It will generate more aggro, right? It is written on the skill descriptions. Drastically increase aggro generation, okay? So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for skills that gives you more aggro generation, okay? I'm not gonna use that, right? Because you don't have to. You don't have to try hard, make a shield swap, and all that stuff, right? Like taking aggro is very very easy if you're using Retribution, Ancestral Mist, okay? You're gonna be using toughen. You're gonna be using Mocking Oil. You're gonna be using Beastful Roar. You're gonna be using Revitalizing Cheer. Okay, sorry about my English. It's not my main language. So these are the skills that you really want to have on your bar. Okay, it doesn't matter. Like we're just gonna go and tank garden bosses. So all the others, oh, actually lasso also like the lasso. This one here, it has like aggro regeneration, right? Pulls and provoke a target from far away, right? So does it works on PvE? I'm not 100% sure. Okay, but you might want this too. But it doesn't matter. Like I said, if you're just using these skill and you're DPSing the garden boss, you will never lose aggro, especially if you're crit damage weapon. Okay. So it doesn't matter which class you're playing. You can play gunner, you can play mage, you can play melee, you can play healer, right? So if you're playing healer, your main skill set will be spell dance, okay? You don't need vitalism, okay? You probably want to keep battle rage for the tiger strike, okay? And if you're gunner though, you probably just want to use defense your gunner skill sets, because you're doing so much damage to PvE that you don't really like need the battle rage, right? So you will use spell dance. So spell dance for this skill here, divine presence, okay, receive PvE damage minus 15%. That's a lot, guys, okay? That's like another strength of the faction buff, right? This actually strength of the faction reduce PvE damage. I'm not 100% sure about that one. I know it gives you a damage buff, but I don't remember. Actually, I have it here. Yeah, there's like a receive PvE 5%, right? So this is 15%, right? I think like the main strength of the faction that you get at your hero all might be like 10%. But this one here is 15%, very, very good, okay? If you're not a healer, it doesn't matter which are the other skills that you put into spell dance. What you want is this passive right here. Receive healing plus 15%. So we're just gonna take whatever skills to get the third passive, right? Doesn't matter. I'm not a healer. I'm not gonna use anything in this skill set but divine presence, right? That's it. So if you're melee, obviously triple slash generates aggro, okay? Battle focus is very good for tanking the bosses because it will upgrade your parry rate for 30 seconds. It's very, very good on the monkey, okay? Sunder will also generate aggro, and it will also reduce like your damage taken, right? You want to make Sunder under yourself like as much as you can, right? And then we're gonna take like Tiger Strike, right? We'll win. Probably charge for movement, behind enemy lines for movement, and the rest doesn't really matter, right? So we have like 5 skill points that you can put at your will. It doesn't matter if you want to try hard and you're like tanking bosses while there's PvP. You want to use bondbreaker, terrifying roar, right? Okay. And probably you want to use redoubt, okay, and refreshment, okay. But now we're just gonna talk about the PvE part, which is getting and holding the aggro of the bosses. So we're just gonna go. I'm gonna go back to. Whoop, I was about to delete it. Gonna go back to my skill set so it changes my hotbar here, okay. So we're just gonna, I'm just gonna show you something real fast, okay? So it's very, very easy to see what combo you need to use, right? So the first thing you have to use all the time is missed retribution, okay? So once you pop that, okay, we'll give you a buff for 1 minute, aggro plus 300%, okay? As you can see, like mocking hold became like blue, right, on my hotbars. This blue, why blue? Because it does like an aggro combo, okay? So if I do mocking oil, I will take the aggro of the mobs, right? You see, it's targeting on me. I did not hit it, but I did like a taunt, right? Okay. So the other combos, what are the other combos? You're gonna use toughen first, okay? Once you use toughen, let's refresh actually missed retribution, okay? You're gonna use toughen. You see like all your bars become blue, like, so you're gonna use toughen, revitalizing chair, okay, mocking oil, beast for roar, sunder, and then like if you don't get the aggro with this combo, there's something's wrong, right? So you want to DPS the mobs all the time, not the mobs but the garden boss, right? You want to DPS it, keep missed retribution up, okay? Okay, mocking oil on CD, right? Actually, you don't have to do it on CD. If you're losing aggro, if someone else take aggros from you and you have mocking oil available, you want to make sure like you get the mocking oil combo, right? So you want to use toughen again, okay, mocking oil, and it will come back the aggro to you, right? It will bring back the boss's aggro to you, okay? Because the snake does have like some weird aggro sometimes. It will swap targets, right? So when it does swap target, you want to have your combos available, right? So toughen, revitalizing chair, mocking oil, beast for roar, sunder, and GG, right? No way you're not gonna take the aggro with this. Okay, so I was tanking the garden bosses as a melee. I was fucking 14k gear score, guys. Okay, so obviously if you have 30k health, like you're gonna die. Like your stat migration has to be to stamina, right? That's the first of all. Also, every character in the game, I think, okay, in my opinion, every classes you're playing, you must have like 40k health, right? So you can also go get the guild buff, the defender guild buff, okay? Make sure you have like strength of the faction when you enter the garden. Also use the drum buff, okay? Use the buff, right? Always use the buff. Okay, so this buff here, you're gonna take the resilience, okay? And yeah, alright, I mean all these things you already know, right? The buff and all this shit. Like the health, like there's no way you're gonna tank garden bosses with 25k health, okay? Everyone should know that. Like you gotta have at least like 40k max health, right? So this was the part 1 of the video. We'll make a part 2 when I will be actually tanking the garden bosses to show you guys like how to make the bosses like face away from the raid, and what I'm doing for the monkey to make him move and drop his sunder away from the raid as well, and some other stuff like that, right? The centaur debuff. So we're gonna talk about this like in another video a little bit later. GG's guys, thanks for watching.